Hello everybody, this is Gulanabi Mir in front of you. Today we are going to read out the second story of our chapter, two stories about flying. And our second story is The Black Aeroplane. I will read it out and you will repeat with me, okay? Okay, the moon was coming up. In the east. Behind me. And stars were shining. In the clear sky above me. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. I was happy to be alone. High up above the sleeping countryside. I was flying my old Dakota aeroplane. Over France back to England. I was dreaming of my holiday. And looking forward to being with my family. I looked at my watch. 1:30 in the morning. I should call Paris control soon. I thought. As I looked down. Past the nose of the aeroplane. I saw the lights of a big city. In front of me. I switched on the radio. And said. Paris control. Dakota DS088 here. Can you hear me? I am on my way to England. Over. The voice from the radio answered me immediately. DS088. I can hear you. You ought to turn 12 degrees west now. DS088. Over. I checked the map and the compass. Switched over to my second and the last fuel tank. And turned the Dakota 12 degrees west towards England. I will be in time for breakfast. I thought. A good big English breakfast. Everything was going well. It was an easy flight. Paris was about 150 kilometers behind me. When I saw the clouds. Storm clouds. They were huge. They looked like black mountains. Standing in front of me. Across the sky. I knew I could not fly up and over them. And I did not have enough fuel to fly around them to the north or south. I ought to go back to Paris. I thought. But I wanted to get home. I wanted that breakfast. I will take the risk. I thought. And flew that old Dakota straight into the storm. Inside the clouds. Everything was suddenly black. It was impossible to see anything. Outside the aeroplane. The old aeroplane jumped
The old aeroplane jumped
and twisted in the air.
and twisted in the air.
I looked at the compass.
I looked at the compass.
I could not believe my eyes.
I could not believe my eyes.
The compass was turning
The compass was turning
round and round and round.
round and round and round.
It was dead.
It was dead.
It would not work.
It would not work.
The other instruments
The other instruments
were certainly dead too.
were suddenly dead too.
I tried the radio.
I tried the radio.
Paris control, Paris control.
Paris control, Paris control.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
There was no answer.
There was no answer.
The radio was dead too.
The radio was dead too.
I had no radio,
I had no radio.
no compass,
No compass.
and I could not see
And I could not see
where I was.
where I was.
I was lost in the storm.
I was lost in the storm.
Then in the black clouds,
Then in the black clouds,
quite near me,
quite near me,
I saw another aeroplane.
I saw another airplane.
It had no lights
It had no light
on its wings,
on its wings,
but I could see it flying
but I could see it flying
next to me
next to me
through the storm.
through the storm.
I could see the pilot's face
I could see the pilot's face
turn towards me.
turn towards me.
I was very glad to see another person.
I was very glad to see another person.
He lifted one hand and waved.
He lifted one hand and waved.
Follow me,
Follow me.
he was saying.
He was saying,
Follow me.
follow me.
He knows that I am lost.
He knows that I am lost.
I thought.
I thought
He is trying to help me.
he is trying to help me.
He turned his aeroplane
He turned his airplane
slowly to the north
slowly to the north
in front of my Dakota
in front of my Dakota
so that it would be easier for me
so that it would be easier for me
to follow him.
to follow him.
I was very happy
I was very happy
to go behind the strange aeroplane
to go behind the strange airplane
like an obedient child.
like an obedient child.
After half an hour,
After half an hour,
the strange black aeroplane
the strange black airplane
was still there in front of me
was still there in front of me
in the clouds.
in the clouds.
Now there was only enough fuel
Now there was only enough fuel
in the old Dakota's last tank
in the whole Dakota's last tank
to fly for 5 or 10 minutes more.
to fly for 5 or 10 minutes more.
I was starting to feel
I was starting to feel
frightened again,
frightened again,
but then he started to go down
but then he started to go down,
and I followed through the storm.
and I followed through the storm.
Suddenly I came out of the clouds
Suddenly I came out of the clouds
and saw two long,
and saw two long,
straight lines of lights
straight lines of light
in front of me.
in front of me.
It was a runway,
It was a runway
an airport.
and airport.
I was safe.
I was safe.
I turned to look for my friend
I turned to look for my friend
in the black aeroplane,
in the black airplane,
but the sky was empty.
but the sky was empty.
There was nothing there.
There was nothing there.
The black aeroplane was gone.
The black airplane was gone.
I could not see it anywhere.
I could not see it anywhere.
I landed
I landed
and was not sorry to walk away
and was not sorry to walk away
from the old Dakota
from the old Dakota
near the control tower.
near the control tower.
I went and asked a woman
I went and asked a woman
in the control center
in the control center
where I was
where I was
and who the other pilot was.
and who the other pilot was.
I wanted to say thank you.
I wanted to say thank you.
She looked at me very strangely.
She looked at me very
and then laughed.
and then laughed.
Another aeroplane
Another aeroplane
up there in the storm.
up there in the storm.
No other aeroplanes were flying tonight.
No other aeroplanes were flying tonight.
Yours was the only one
Yours was the only one
I could see on the radar.
I could see on the radar.
So who helped me
So who helped me
to arrive there safely
to arrive there safely
without a compass or a radio
without the compass or a radio
and without any more fuel
and without any more fuel
in my tanks?
in my tanks?
Who was the pilot
Who was the pilot
on the strange black aeroplane
on the strange black aeroplane
flying in the storm
flying in the storm
without lights?
without lights?
Thinking about the text,
Thinking about the text,
I will take the risk.
I will take the risk.
What is the risk?
What is the risk?
Why does the narrator take it?
Why does the narrator take it?
Question number 2.
Question number 2.
Describe the narrator's experience
Describe the narrator's experience
as he flew the aeroplane
as he flew the aeroplane
into the storm.
into the storm.
Question number 3.
Question number 3.
Why does the narrator say,
Why does the narrator say,
I landed and was not sorry
I was landed and not sorry
to walk away from the old Dakota?
walk away from the old Dakota?
Question number 4.
Question number 4.
What made the woman
What made the woman
in the control center
in the control center
look at the narrator strangely?
look at the narrator singing?
Question number 5.
Question number 5.
Who do you think
Who do you think
helped the narrator
helped the narrator
to reach safely?
reach safely?
Discuss this among yourselves
Discuss this among yourselves
and give reasons for your answer.
and give reasons for your answer.